Remember when I did a video on mask exemptions and everybody flipped out at me? Well, now I've got vaccine passport exemptions as well. First thing you want to do is Google vaccine passport and go to the government website. Scroll down to domestic use in England and go to the second link just here. Using the NHS COVID pass, go to exemptions. First paragraph states these individuals will need to self-declare their medical exemption directly with you. Further down it states, please be mindful and respectful where there are potential circumstances where a customer or individual cannot safely demonstrate the COVID-19 status by taking a vaccination or test. Your customers may declare a medical exemption directly with you. You and your staff should not ask for evidence of an exemption. Right here, it is not mandatory for any individual to wear a visual cue to outline they are exempt. Are they forcing us to have a COVID pass? Or are you forcing yourself? Just asking.
Boom, shakalaka, ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters around the world. It is your boy Chris Yule, aka the esoteric noetic, aka the chocolate Nubian soul brother from Ghana, West Africa. Dropping the wisdomatic truth bombs here in Melbourne, Australia. Giving it to you live, uncensored. Be sure to like this video, subscribe, click on the bell, tell your friends, tell your mom, drop us some comments, let us know what it is. Oh, let's get it. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm gonna keep things very esoteric right now, because I'm telling you, ladies and gentlemen, we gotta be careful. With this new law that's been passed here in Australia, mate, where the Australian popo now have the right to hack into your accounts and pretend to be you, the catfish, you can't be too safe. You can't even be certain that you're communicating with yours truly when you're on my group. Could be some popo. 3 things to remember in life. 1, to be careful with your thoughts when you were alone. 2, to be careful with your words when you were with other people. And 3, to be careful of your social media posts. It's probably a good idea not to be using your actual name, for starters, and to be weary that people claiming to be someone may not actually be who they claim to be in the 21st century. And I know a lot of you are saying, oh look, Chris Yule, I don't want to be secretive. I believe that we have to be out in the light. Only evil, nefarious people hide information and hide truth. Haven't you heard that?
The very word secrecy is repugnant in a free and open society.
Yes, secrecy is repugnant to a free society. But we are not in a free society. Last time I checked, this country is anything but free. Secrecy is a tool that has been used throughout time in order to protect yourself, protect you and your loved ones from people that would wish you ill. This is what many of the secret societies would do. Back to Pythagoras' mystery school tradition, where essentially in order for people to be initiated into the mysteries, they would have to practice silence. They would have to guard the information because there were people that did not wish them well. Because throughout time, people have wanted to burn certain individuals that had enlightened information. They would be called witches. They would be called heathens. And to this day, things have not changed. We have the mainstream media, scientific academia that will want to destroy you, destroy your reputation, make you a pariah. If you say the wrong kind of stuff, then of course we have the police that will literally put you in a prison cell if you say anything that goes against the narrative. To make things worse, even if you speak about violations of human rights, you can be punished. This is the world that we're living in. So when people tell you that, oh look, you need to expose yourself, they're being not only unwise, but they are being stupid. Ladies and gentlemen, there is an organization known as the Five Eyes. Hey there. So the Five Eyes is essentially 5 Western countries that are able to share information, classically speaking, within the realm of international law. Essentially, certain countries like the United States, Australia, conventionally could not spy on their citizens. And they would circumvent this by getting information from other countries that would spy on the citizens of other countries. Now, with the recent law that has been passed in Australia, that's been rushed through Parliament, giving the police officers the ability to hack your accounts and catfish you without a warrant. Now, not only the Australian police force have the ability to do this, to hack your account, but all the information they've gathered is able to be shared with other countries within the Five Eyes. So now all your information is at risk. But look, let's not kid ourselves. The United States, countries around the world have been doing this kind of stuff for decades. I was speaking about this 10 years ago, even before Edward Snowden spoke about this, openly said that yes, the United States government is spying on you. I mean, this stuff was, at least I thought, was exoteric. It was known within outside circles. But for some reason, anytime I'd bring it up, people would still call me a conspiracy theorist. I mean, I did information technology. I have a bachelor's of information technology, and we would learn about this in a very open fashion. Now, I remember one of the lecturers would speak about how there were organizations such as Echelon that would spy on their citizens. But little did I know that most people were not even aware of this at the time. For a long time, we have been spied on. We have been manipulated. We have been bullied by governments around the world in order to keep us safe. And it's interesting when you have a look at what's going on here in Australia, right? So, the thing that these leaders are pushing now is that they may not be able to hit the 0% case target. This is what our Lord and Savior, Daniel Andrews, has been saying, and this has been uttered by many of the other rulers around the world. And therefore, they may have to live with the Rona. But don't get the idea, don't get this twisted. This does not mean that they're going to drop all of their lockdowns. I mean, what the government has learned now is that they have this tool in their arsenal that anytime they want to achieve an end, all they got to do is bring a lockdown. I mean, it would not surprise me to see the lockdowns being used. Even after all of this Rona has subsided, they're going to start bringing this in order to bring down climate emissions. Oh, look, mate, we got to do this. I mean, look at all the great things that have come from these lockdowns. Now, the environment is a lot healthier, and look, we got this other new challenge, global warming, so we got to keep everyone locked down. They're going to start pulling this lockdown card, restrictions, purely because they've been able to do it in the past. I wouldn't be surprised if in the future we now hear about some kind of alien invasion, and in order to keep everyone safe so the aliens don't get to us, now we got to stay at home. Stay the fuck at home, mate. These aliens could be killing you and abducting you, so you got to stay at home. It's all for your safety. Yeah, I know you guys are laughing at me, but I assure you we're going to start seeing a whole bunch of different justifications for people being locked in their homes, for people being restricted movement and so forth. Now this boom shakalaka passport seems to be underway. It's not going to be the end of things. Every time you think that this is all that you're going to have to deal with, there's always another level. People that received first, second dose of the boom shakalaka thought that's all they would have to do, are finding out now that they have to receive a third, realizing that this thing ain't over. And there is a good chance that even once you have acquiesced to their third, perhaps fourth, there will still be further impositions that are made on you. But the one thing to never lose sight of is that you do not have to acquiesce to any of it. I know a lot of people are under this mindset that they don't have a choice. Oh, look, Christian, I don't have a choice. I'm going to lose my job. There is always a choice. Christian, the esoteric noetic, the chocolate Nubian soul brother, always has a choice. And so do you. Saying you have no choice is the plea of momos, people that do not have the imagination, the creative ability, which is something that is endowed to all of God's creations. The ability to think of solutions to problems. It's usually the very people that are so fearful, so lacking faith, that do not believe they have a choice. But those that are standing in their light, standing in their sovereignty, and standing in the understanding that there is always a choice. And this is how it works. When you believe something is possible, you start finding solutions. If you believe there is a choice, you start looking for other choices. When you say that there is no choice, you shut yourself out to those other options. I mean, people are not even aware that even though there are requirements in order to leave the country, you require these boom shakalaka passports in order to travel around the UK, there are exemptions. If you go to the official government UK website, you can find that there are exemptions. You could have some form of medical condition that exempts you from having to have a passport. And this most likely applies to countries outside of the UK. And there are also legal courses that you can take if your employer is trying to sue you. In fact, chances are they wouldn't sue you because they'd realize that that's a fool's errand. It's going to cost them money. But if your employer is telling you that you must get a jab, otherwise they'll fire you, throw it back in their face. There are always options you can take into court. But don't be playing this game that you have no choice. And do not be exposing yourself to these momos. You do not have to express yourself to everyone on every single level. There's a reason why we have circles. We have circles of family, circles of friendship, circles of colleagues, and we deal with them differently for various reasons because we have different relationships with them. You do not have to expose yourself openly to every single person. People that have this mentality that, oh look, you're being dishonest, Christian, you're not sharing. It's nonsense. People are not entitled to all information. You're not required to share everything with everyone, particularly if they're not entitled to that information, and if not showing them that information is not going to result in their harm, any harm to them or their property. People need to start being a bit more nuanced in their understanding of what they decide to do with information and the ramifications this is going to have on them and society at large. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, freaks and geeks, hope you've enjoyed this rant. Be sure to like this video, tell your friends, tell your mom, drop us some comments, drop us some cryptocurrencies, buy us a copy if you feel so inclined. And remember that there are three things that cannot remain hidden for long: the sun, the moon, and the wisdomatic truth bombs of the chocolate Nubian soul brother. Surya Namaskara, Namaste. Have an amazing day. Kisses, hugs, and belly rubs. Mwah.
What is liberty?
What the? Who says you can't build muscle on a vegan diet?
What's it like being a hottie in the vegan community?
There are no political solutions, only technological ones.
The economics of the system don't allow multiple competing systems to survive.
Engineering, technology, these arts of humanity, they are magic.